Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 67
All right.
of the Squadron podcast, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think that's right.
Yeah, why not?
We're back.
Where?
We had a little break.
We are back.
Week.
I had a little break last week. You went off to another land. I stayed here, slaved away in the mines.
The editing mind. All the other editors. And I got to enjoy my holiday.
We got
a treat.
a little bunch of stuff.
I got a little holiday treat. We gotta punch it because we're
jumping to hyperspeed.
Is that what it's jump to
light speed?
Jump to hyper.
I went to jump to hyperspace.
Star Wars.
Star Wars thing.
We got genuinely literally out of nowhere.
Out of absolute nowhere.
But we are thankful because it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I think we were right. I think everyone's theory was right. And the theory was sets 1, 2, and 3 are the big baseline. They were the set of they were setting the precedents. They were going, hey guys, sets 1, 2, and 3, this is how Star Wars is gonna work from now on. And they introduced things periodically. And it actually makes sense now why they didn't show off all of the skills in each set. So it's why maybe, a few things were missing in set 2, no shields and experience in set 3, because set 4 does include everything up until this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus extra.
Set 4 is absolutely bonkers. I think it's a huge mix-up to the game. We're seeing a lot of new, interesting stuff. Namely, leaders are a little bit different. So we're going to dive into the new spoilers, I guess.
Absolutely. They showed off the 2 starter decks and kind of some cards in those. And we've kind of got some bit spoilers elsewhere. We have 1 leader from the set.
Yeah.
We have the 2 starter leaders, obviously, which we'll go over first. And that's kind of set the tone for kind of what's happening here.
Cool, honestly.
So the first leader that we're going to be talking about, he's back. He's red. He's going to be played red-yellow because obviously he is.
It's Boba Fett!
It's Boba Fett, he's back!
You know what? While we were on holiday, I showed this to my partner, and she goes, another one? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she looked at me, and she went, there's been a Fett set.
A Fett set?
We got Boba, Django, Boba.
A Fett set keeps the doctor away.
It's true. But this Fett is a little bit different than the rest
A little bit different, as you can see right here. And he says, when you deal non-combat damage, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, deal 1 indirect damage to a player. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, 1 what now?
Indirect.
Or you've played Star Wars Destiny and you went, yeah, okay, cool. Because this is something direct from Destiny.
Yep.
Direct from Destiny's got to be some sort of cover band.
Yeah, that's a really good cover.
It's a really good band name.
Yeah. But indirect damage was introduced in Destiny, and essentially it is when indirect damage is assigned to you, you pick your base or any units you have, and you deal that damage amongst the creatures. Obviously, if you have no units, you have to pick your base. But it gives you control over where that damage goes. But as we've seen with stuff like Cad Bane, who now is, I guess, when you play an Underworld unit, exhaust unit dealing indirect damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is pretty good. I mean, he's not dealing indirect because the key difference is it can be dealt to the base.
Yes.
So, and that's really interesting. And we are going to see a lot of this.
Yeah, and
is awesome.
It's something that's going to be coming through a lot, and there's something that's already, there's things like, whenever you're doing indirect damage, deal an extra indirect damage.
So you might be going, ugh, this sucks, or, ooh, that's really interesting. And overall, this is genuinely a great mechanic. It gives player agency and choice, which is the best thing you can do in a card game because that adds so much dynamism to skill. It makes new dynamic choices, new dynamic deck builds. You can pick to ping cards here and there. And adding stuff like this in means we get new interesting cards. Older cards come back into the fold, and notably, the damage is unpreventable.
Yes, that is a very key part of it. So you can be like, oh, my TIE silencer.
Wrong.
I mean, if you pick it, it gets damaged.
It does. It actually gets
It is
damaged.
unpreventable damage.
Can't be
You go,
prevented.
oh yes, finally, I put my Boba's armor on my Boba, and I go, I deal 5 indirect damage. You go, yeah, I'll put it all on Boba. He takes 3, and I go, you fool.
Boba's armor's back.
Oh, Boba's armor's back.
It also
I mean,
not,
it never left.
It actually might also not be back because Boba does flip.
He does certainly
He does.
flip.
Epic action. This is a bit more chunky than we usually have.
Yeah. So, if you control 6 or more resources, they did it, guys. They fixed Boba.
Yeah, baby.
Deploy this leader.
Awesome.
We know it. We love it.
And he's a 6-cost 4/7 with no ability when he flips.
With no ability when he flips.
But that's not all he does.
He also has another epic part of this epic action,
Ooh.
and that is deploy this leader as an upgrade on a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it.
And you heard that right. Because Boba Fett is a pilot. This is a new mechanic where you can deploy your leaders as upgrades onto vehicles. Now, before you go ahead of yourself, no, you cannot do the epic action twice. You can't flip him normally, then when he dies, put him as an upgrade. You can't do that. It's one or the other once per game. But when you flip him as an upgrade, he actually does have an ability.
Absolutely. So attached unit. One of the biggest things about it is this first line that we've seen on every single one of the thing, and that is attached unit is a leader unit.
Yep.
So it's absolutely a case where you're putting this onto your Fett's Fire Spray. Your Fett's Fire Spray is now a leader unit. It can't be waylaid. It can't be
can't be anything like that.
Yeah, anything like that. Which is big for traitorous. That would have been wild.
Yeah. Actually, interestingly enough, I was going to bring this up in a second, but this is relevant because we do have a card like Mercenary Gunship, which actually adds some interest. In the core book, if your leader would move areas, it is considered defeated instead. So,
really?
Yes. So, if I have a Mercenary Gunship and I put my leader on it and you, my opponent, pay 4, you kill my leader.
Why would I pay 4 when I could just pay 1? We'll get to that later.
It's true!
But yes, you can essentially, attached leader is a leader unit. When deployed as an upgrade, deal up to 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of units.
That's pretty good.
Very good.
That's pretty good.
It's at 6, you flip it, you deal 4 damage to something, or you deal 2 damage to this, 2 damage to that. It's pretty good.
It also gives +4/+4 to the vehicle it's upgraded to.
+4/+4 is always nice. So this is the new style of leader that we're getting. This is the big thing. This leader kind of shows off everything so that we know of so far that this set has to offer.
Yes.
Which is cool.
It's awesome. I love this. Also, one interesting thing as well, which we will show off in a moment, leaders are not the only pilots.
No. You will get cards that are also pilots that have a unit section and an upgrade section.
Which is super cool.
Yes, very cool. I'm cautiously optimistic, pessimistic. I'm pretty neutral at the moment on this.
Kill this guy.
I'm worried a little bit that about nothing else other than the blankness of the flip.
I'm not.
I'm very worried about it.
Look, at the end of the day, for me, if you're flipping Boba Fett as a 4/7 at 6, that's still pretty good. I think the biggest thing is, and the way I look at it, right, is we had a friend, and he played.
Rip.
He's gone now. And he played a SWU pre-release with us, and he played set 1 and he played set 3, and he said to us after set 3, you went, what did you think? And he went, I think that it's at its core, it's a fun game, but I feel like I've seen all of these cards before. And we were like, oh, well, James had this conversation with him, and James went, well, would you care to explain? And he said, yes, they do different stuff, like maybe make a token here or there, but really, in essence, it really is the same thing, right?
Yes.
While I understand where you're coming from with the blank flip, I see this and I think that this is where Star Wars starts. This is where SWU begins. Because yes, the leader is blank flip, that's fine. But there's still so much you can do with just a Boba Fett blank leader. And, most importantly, you want to be using this guy and slapping him on your vehicles. Like, I see this and I think this is such an interesting, creative leader because on his front side, he does something new and interesting. Yes. And on his back side, he does something new and interesting on his awesome big backside. But, and that's
like, I like this leader in a way where I'm like, awesome, we can force choke for 6 damage now. Yeah. Like it has a lot of really cool stuff that goes with it.
There's a 3-cost card in this deck
that makes it, yeah.
Absolutely love with this leader.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the one we talk about just after the next leader.
True.
But yeah, absolutely, I can see where this is going, and I kind of understand the hype for it. I think it's really cool. I think
it is important to note currently that we have seen a little bits of other leaders like on the back of boxes and stuff. And it appears that only these 2 leaders are blank when they flip. The other leaders all have abilities on them, on their leader side. So these 2 are the only ones that do that. And I think that's more for player ease than anything. Like Boba Fett and Han Solo might not be the best in the set. They might not be played. But I think that they're here to introduce a concept that is going to be kicking it hard.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I think the other big thing I need to see out of this set, and I desperately need to see it out of this set, is ground vehicles. I need more ground vehicles.
Holy moly!
If you don't give me more good statted or like playable ground vehicles,
100% agree.
I'm really skeptical about that.
Where's my speeder bike patrol? Where are my AT-ST walkers? Where are my tanks?
But the weird thing is, this could have been avoided by a lot of the units that are currently ground units just being given the vehicle tag. Stuff like modded cohort.
Cloud Rider.
Stuff like Cloud Rider. Stuff like all these things could have just had the vehicle tag, and I wouldn't have been worried right now. But I've got to see a lot of ground vehicles coming through, which is...
Look, ultimately, I think this is going to be a really space-focused set. I don't think we're going to see a hell of a lot of ground. But I think it's going to be really tough to not have this set move to very, very space focused. See, for me, look, even if 1/3 of the set is ground vehicles, that's pretty good.
I mean, 1/3 of the set is ground vehicles. That's nuts.
Yeah. So, and that's what you're saying, right? Like, is where are, what I want to see, and I agree with you on this. Give me one leader out of them all that synergizes better with ground vehicles. Yeah. Give me a leader that specifies ground vehicles. Give me Luke Skywalker, Rogue Squadron, in his speeder on Hoth. Just give me that. Give me that. He flips, he attaches to a ground vehicle, and he buffs them. Give me a card. Give me another wedge. Give me another wedge.
Wedge is just sitting there hoping for more ground vehicles. I'll be honest with you. I've tried to build that deck so many times, and there's just not enough ground vehicles to do it.
Ground vehicle ambush is just so much better than space vehicle ambush.
Yeah. I need 2 cost, 3 cost, and 4 cost ground vehicles. Yeah. That's what I need.
I'm with you on that.
But let's move on to the second starter leader.
I give this Boba Fett a 3.5 out of 5 on the Spice Up. I think that I genuinely think that his front side is actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
I think that being able to just run a bunch of burn spells, daring raid for 2, ping 1 to wherever, pay 3.
It's very Cad Bane, while also being able to be like, do you want to burn down your own base?
It's not even to our unit. You can just daring raid their base for 2.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think he's really solid. I think his flip, I agree with you that definitely when he flips, I probably would have liked to see this ability on his ground side, but I feel like that maybe would have been a bit much. Hans Olo.
Sans Olo.
Notable rebel this set.
Never tell him the odds.
Never tell him the odds. It's 4 to 1.
Action. Tap him. Reveal the top card of your deck, then attack with a unit. If the revealed card and that card unit have different odd costs, that unit gets +1/+0 for this attack.
That's a bloody
Swoo
mouthful.
loves letting you attack with things with +1 attack, and they love making you jump through fucking hoops to get it.
Yeah. So, just in case that word jumble didn't make sense, which I had to
There's
read
like
through this
there's like three
I
caveats
did
here.
read through this 3 times. So, I attack with the Millennium Falcon. That's a 3 cost. I use Han Solo's ability to do it, and I reveal the top card of my deck, and it's a 5 cost. The Falcon gets +1/+0. If it's a 3 cost, the Falcon does not get +1/+0 because they're both 3 costs. And if it's not differing cost, they have to be odd. So 1, 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to, and even the card that you're attacking with also has to be odd cost. It cannot be even costed. Han Solo hates playing on curve. That's it. Han Solo hates playing on curve.
Every second turn, you need to pass. It's turn 1.
Han Solo 1. He said,
Claim.
I don't want to play on curve. Give me an extra
Turn
recess.
1, claim.
Han Solo set 2. Said, I don't want to play on curve. Reduce it by 1.
Reduce it by 1.
Han Solo set 4. Says, I don't want to play on curve. Don't let me play no even cards.
Now, on theme, he flips at 5.
Yeah. He's a 3/7.
He's a 3/7, or he, once again, can be attached to a vehicle that does not have a pilot. He gives it +3/+4, and when he's deployed in his upgrade, for each friendly unit or upgrade that has an odd cost, ready a resource. That's actually pretty banging. That's
pretty
great.
banging.
That's great.
This is a leader to build a deck around. This is a deck building nightmare and dream somehow crushed into one.
This is a lot of 1-ofs, 3-ofs, and 5-ofs all in all.
This is the deck that makes me want to run only 3 costs and 5 costs, and just be like, all right, I have my turn 1 play, and then I'm going to play, and then I'm only going to play You're My Only Hope, and I only have 5 costs in my deck. Yeah. So I'm gonna get 1 out of 5 costs out.
This is a great deck for You're My Only Hope, and now there are 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because you turn 1, you drop like a 1 cost R2D2, and then turn 2, you just, or you know what, turn 1 you drop a Greedo, turn 2 you pay 3 and you go, oh, here's set 1 5 cost Chewbacca set.
Yeah, exactly.
Or there is a nice little pilot that works very well in this deck as well. But yes, this is a really interesting leader. One thing that we have learnt is when you ready resources, it's super bonkers good.
Yeah.
Especially when you go, I flip. And around this time, you're probably readying 3 resources. And keep in mind, he counts himself at the very least. At the very least, when you deploy this guy as an upgrade, you're getting 1 resource. If you're putting it on a 3 cost, which is obviously ideal because of the Falcons, because there's a new Falcon, 2 resources. If you've got your turn 1 play, which is hopefully a 1-drop, if you're lucky 2, that's 4 resources. Yeah. Obviously, the ideal is untapping 5 resources with this guy.
I mean, there is no limit.
You can get you literally get 10 resources worth.
I'm gonna spend 5. I'm gonna drop 5 1-drops and then flip onto one of them. And
I think the biggest thing is you can pay 5. You can drop a Chewbacca, the 5 cost from set 1. Flip this guy, untap 5, and then pay 5 and play the Chewbacca from this deck. Spoiler alert. But untapping resources is absolutely bonkers. Yeah. I do like this set. Feels like they're not trying to talk down to us. I feel like sets 1, 2, and 3, they did have that kind of underlying theme of we need to make sure that new players are okay with this stuff. And it did get a bit like when we were in set 3, I personally felt kind of like, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to simplify everything for us. We're at the point where we know. And I think for them, they were just like, we're just doing 1, 2, and 3 like this. After this, that's it. It's no holds bar, wacky, wacky, wacky. So
I'm hoping to see much more wacky stuff coming. Like this is also the starter deck. We've only seen the starter deck.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what like the legendaries bring into it.
Pretty tame.
Like I would love to see what the legendaries bring into this, and I hope they move away from sets 3, kind of like, hey, these are just kind of like weird and meh, to actual like banger legendaries.
I want to see Cad Bane level legendaries because that one's awesome. I want to see like back in Destiny. Firstly, I will give Han Solo a 4 out of 5 because I actually think untapping resources is wild.
Understandable.
Back in Destiny, one of the better decks was Cassian because Cassian let you pick where the indirect damage went.
Yes.
Give me something like that. Give me literally give me a hero or villain or neutral. Give me a legendary that lets me pick where indirect damage goes because...
Give me a leader that does it. Fuck.
Yeah, that'd be sick. His flip side just lets you pick where indirect damage goes.
I'm curious to see how many pilots versus
pilot versus...
I'm curious to see whether they just go, yep, every single leader this set is pilot, or whether they still put some non-pilot leaders in.
See, I think that, personally, I think that all the leaders this set are going to be pilots because I think from now on, we're going to get a pretty varied mix. I think that they're going to go, to make up for sets 1, 2, and 3, they're going to go, all right, guys, here's like 18 pilot leaders. Do what you would, which in my opinion, that's good because we've already got 3 sets worth of non-pilot.
Yeah.
You do need to back it up a little bit, but I think that just like this set, everything's in it. There is unit tokens, shields, experience, bounty, capture. Cartel Spacer is getting Cartel Turncoat's getting a reprint in the starter deck. These cards are all back. All of the bounty mechanics are back. Like from now on, you're just gonna see the stuff that's in sets 1, 2, and 3 just pop up everywhere now. They're the evergreen mechanics. They're not going anywhere, which is great because we did complain about that not being a thing in sets 3 and even 1. But we do have a cheeky little guy.
A couple of things to talk about.
Yeah, Bosk Hunt by Instincts.
Bosk.
This is a starter deck exclusive. He is a 4-cost cunning villain 4/4. On attack, exhaust the defender and deal 1 damage to it if it's a unit. That's pretty solid. Or a new red ability, Piloting, for 2, and it's cunning villain. Attached unit gains on attack, exhaust the defender and deal 1 damage to it if it's a unit and gets +2/+2. And this is just like the leaders. You pay the piloting cost, and you can attach it as an upgrade to a vehicle and give it that ability, or
absolutely.
you can pay the regular cost and play him as a unit. Hello, Spice Cat.
Hello, Spice Cat.
And you can play him as a unit and do it that way.
Yep. So, yeah, essentially it's a new keyword that is just essentially what the leaders have been doing, and it's just allowing you to play it. Essentially, you can play it as a unit, or you can play it as an upgrade. And now we've seen, I think, Smuggle was like a precursor to this in the way that we're gonna see things that are like, cool, this 4-cost cunning villainy with its piloting cost of aggression villainy kind of stuff coming through as well, right? Definitely. We're going to be seeing that kind of mix up, which is my favorite part of smuggling, like what those kind of mix ups and how they kind of worked.
Especially because you can have someone like, Anakin Skywalker, who's a blue hero, vigilance force user, but the moment that guy gets into a fighter, he's insane. He's like one of the best pilots ever, and he pilots really aggressively. So you could make him an aggression.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's super cool. I absolutely love it. This Bosk is pretty solid. I think it's a bit hard to actually give these ratings now because we don't actually have anything like this for me to compare it to. So
it's weird, right? You can almost see it as 2 cards.
2 cards,
right? So you could give ratings to the unit and the upgrade separately.
A 4-cost 4/4 Underworld Bounty Hunter, when it attacks, deals damage and exhausts stuff. That's great. That's a 4/4 for 4 that gets around.
Most of the time, it's a 5/4.
Yeah,
if you're swinging into a unit,
that also gets around shields because it just pings the shield.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like in my opinion, I'm seeing Bosk and I'm like solid. Then I'm seeing Bosk and I'm like, okay, hold up. Put this on my my punishing one, swing into something,
Yeah.
ping it, exhaust it. If I kill it, it's got an upgrade. Untap it. Punishing one gets a lot better this set. Mine are just that.
I think the one thing you are going to see a lot of, because I've almost done it 100 times already, just thinking about it, is people trying to put these upgrades on non-vehicle
Yeah,
units.
you can't do that. Pilots can only go onto vehicles.
Yeah,
Piloting
which is why I want more ground vehicles.
Piloting, I believe the skill piloting is exactly the same wording as the leaders. It's deploy this upgrade on a vehicle that does not have a pilot. So you cannot put multiple pilots onto vehicles unless otherwise stated, which there actually is one that states already that you can have multiple pilots on it. Next up, my favorite card from Boba's red yellow as well.
No
and Han's
disintegrations.
green yellow. No disintegrations. I love this card. Like genuinely love this card.
So it's a 3-cost aggression villainy that says deal damage to a non-leader unit equal to 1 less than its remaining HP.
That's hilarious when you pair it with Boba Fett, who can then just make your opponent ping 1 and kill it, or ping 1 to your base.
I mean, most of the time they're probably going to ping 1 to their base.
Yeah, but it's really funny. Genuinely though, having a card like this in decks like Cad Bane Red, and things like that, because I know for a fact, if you were to go, hey, you're playing Cad Bane Red, you have 5 resources, and your hand is either a Crafty Smuggler and an Open Fire, or this and a Crafty Smuggler, what are you picking? I'm like, this. This gets rid of a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think interesting that it specifies damage to a non-leader unit, but I guess we're about to make a lot of non-leader units leader units, so kind of checks out.
Yeah. Next up,
I love this card.
banger card.
This card is, in my opinion, actually kind of insane.
Yeah. So this is Chewbacca. He is a 5-cost command heroism.
Yeah.
And he is a 5/6 with the ability, this unit can't be defeated or returned to hand by enemy card abilities.
Can't be bounced. He can be damaged, but he can't be bounced.
Yeah. I think this is huge.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where there is a part of me that's a little bit sad. I really wanted to see some kind of spell-proof or like event-proof, like kind of hex-proof, like kind of thing come through.
Yeah.
Which this is kind of confirmed isn't going to be in this set, because otherwise he would have it.
I definitely think it's a keyword we'll see in the future.
Yes. So like I think that's going to be interesting to see where. But I think this card in particular slaps, because it doesn't only do it when you play him as a 5-cost 5/6, pretty solid. It also does it when you use his piloting skill as for 3 command heroism.
Yep.
And here we go. This one actually says it. You may play this as a upgrade on a friendly vehicle without a pilot.
Yep. And then attached unit gains. This unit can't be defeated or returned to hand by enemy card abilities. +3/+3.
Yeah. So that part is
also a
huge.
rebel.
This a 3-cost upgrade +3/+3 that makes it not be able to be defeated or returned to hand. Huge.
I do like
Absolutely
the buff to
huge.
rebels already. Like just getting seeing this and it just even being like, ooh, I want to run this in Leia.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool.
I think there's like really cool stuff. What I like immediately, this is one of the best cards of the set.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like being able to stop things being defeated, the vehicles being defeated is huge, especially when blue exists. And I think this card is the most hopeful that I have. Like this card is what is keeping me hopeful about the set, and that they're going to be printing things with this level of power, and that are going to be bringing the heat.
This is literally a starter deck card.
Yeah, and they're going to be bringing the heat.
We compare it to starter deck cards from the past, and it's been like coordinate, draw a card.
Yeah.
But like now we get this guy. I genuinely believe that this set we're going to just see some wacky stuff, and I think the next card once again proves it. Tandem Assault. This is a 1-cost green tactic. Attack with a space unit. If you do, attack with a ground unit, and the ground unit gets +2/+0. That's for 1.
Yep.
That's 1.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. The artwork of this rocks. I would love to see this as a map.
Ooh, that would be a good map.
But he's rolling dice.
He's rolling dice.
But yes, that's. Whew.
That's pretty good.
I love it. I see.
It's kind of a mixture of like Rebel Assault did the same thing. It's attacking with 2 units, adding +2 plus O like throughout the attack. But like this is cool, and especially with the obviously there's going to be a lot of focus towards space. I think this would definitely be a really cool event. But I think we've seen a lot of stuff like it before, so I don't think we need to linger too much.
I like the next one a lot.
Yeah,
I like the next one a lot.
Go for it.
Hunting Aggressor. It's a 4-cost aggression 3/6 that says indirect damage you deal to an opponent is increased by 1.
Oh yeah.
Now this is actually this is an uncommon.
What I think, and I hope, Red's gonna do.
It's just indirect.
Indirect damage. It's gonna be like buff indirect damage, buff indirect damage, 3 indirect damage, 5. It turns into 5 indirect damage, and it's like if you like
awesome.
Like you can put it wherever you want, but man, if you're putting it on your base, it's gonna go down quick because I'm just gonna keep having things that.
That's a deck that I would love.
Yeah.
I would love to put my opponent in a position where I'm going, all right, pick.
And they have to trade into your stuff because you just keep doing more indirect damage, and it's you can
so
clear your own board if you want to, but you're just
Genuinely,
never gonna get anything down.
Building a Cad Bane, because this is Underworld, building a Cad Bane red indirect damage deck is going to be so much fun, especially because they're going, oh, I'm going to ping all my units, and then you go, awesome, Cad Bane from set 3, I can capture up to 8 remaining HP worth. So you've spent the whole game pinging your stuff, I'm capturing it all now.
Yeah.
And then it's just so cool. It adds just so much. It's like
absolutely.
Indirect damage is probably the most exciting thing from this set. Pilots are cool. They're really interesting, but damage that your opponent chooses where it goes, it can't be prevented, which means it gets through shields. So if you have a shielded unit and you ping it, because shields say remove this, prevent the next damage that was dealt to it. So you can have a crafty smuggler, and if I go, hey, 2 indirect damage, and you pick your crafty smuggler, hey, he's dead. He's dead. That guy dies.
Yep.
Because shield don't work.
It's interesting when you deal damage to a unit, but it's shielded, so they can't finish it off. So like actually picking your shielded units is
bad. It's bad.
No, it can be good sometimes.
Oh, true.
Because you can be like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna get it. It's like, all right, he still has a shield.
Yeah, he's a 2-1 shield. But like, how interesting is that?
Very
interesting. It's just so cool.
I think this just really shows off that kind of like, and then moving on to the next one, we have Zygerian Starhopper. And Zygerian Starhopper is a 2-cost yellow villainy 2/3 underworld fighter vehicle.
Oh yeah.
That says when defeated, deal 2 indirect damage to a player.
This set is screaming Cad Bane red to me.
Yeah, because it's an underworld card.
You can play it, tap Cad Bane, ping something, and then you can swing and trade into something and get the extra ping. It's so good.
That's really fun. There's gonna be some absolute
wild.
Triple Dark Raid. Like, this set is going to be wild. There's going to be some wild shit going down.
Sneak attacking stuff like this.
Yeah.
Actually, not gonna lie, the 4 costs from the starter deck that we'll cover off in a second. Sneak attacking that in is going to be pretty.
The 4 costs from the starter deck.
Brutal, yeah. The fire spray.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's going to be really cool. Keep an eye out for more combos with that. Moving on. Never tell me the odds.
No Disintegrations was not the only card. I think a lot of people have been waiting for this card.
Yeah.
And it is just as confusing as the leader, and I love it.
Yeah. Discard 3 cards from your opponent's deck. And 3 cards from your deck. Deal damage to a unit equal to the number of cards with an odd cost discarded this way.
So, more mill.
More mill. In a way.
Yellow
Hero wasn't particularly big on milling, so it's not huge to the added.
So if I flip a 1, 3, and a 5 cost, and your deck flips a 2, 5, and a 6 cost, that's 4 damage I get to deal to a unit.
Yeah. So essentially, in the Han Solo deck, 90% of your deck is going to be odd, I assume.
It's going to be like on average, it's maybe like a 3 cost 3 damage, which isn't great. It has
but on average, your opponent should at least flip one.
So
right?
It's
is the kind of thing, right? Yeah, it's one of those things where it's open fire that could go harder.
Yeah, open fire with a higher ceiling, potentially lower.
Yeah.
But again, just never tell me the
Interesting
odds.
card.
Interesting card. Again, we are seeing another big step up in space. This card, when I saw it, I went, and the reason is space is understated until now. This is a 3-cost cunning 3/3. When played, if you control another space unit, you may exhaust unit.
Yep.
It's pretty much just a cartel spacer, but the thing that got me was that this is an on-curve space play. We don't really see this.
Yeah, I think it's still like I feel like if this was a ground unit, it'd be a 3/4.
I agree.
So it is still slightly uncosted because the only 3/3s you get are ones with big abilities,
But
like Bodhi Rock or some shit.
Yeah.
But speaking of well-statted things, I think this is a good card. I think it's like,
it's fine.
again,
I think
Cad Bane says hello.
Yeah.
Now we're moving into the two big ones.
Yes.
Right? This is the two big ones of
There are
the starter
two more
set.
starter set cards.
Yeah.
And obviously, a pilot needs a ship.
Yes. So, Fett's Fire Spray.
He's back. It's back.
I'm surprised it isn't a 6 cost.
Comes in untapped if you control a Boba leader.
No, it does not. I'm surprised it isn't a 6 cost, but I suppose we already have a 6 cost Fire Spray. But it is a 4 cost plain villainy.
Oh, yeah.
4/4. 4/4, baby. Underworld vehicle transport. When played or on attack, deal 1 indirect damage to a player. If you control Boba Fett, deal 2 indirect damage instead.
I just can't wait to build red yellow.
Oh,
Boba.
red yellow Boba is gonna be
Red yellow
nuts.
Boba triple dark raid this out
Yeah.
2. Swing for what's that? Like 8. If they've got no units, you swing for 8.
I love that this says if you control Boba Fett as a unit upgrade or leader.
As an upgrade too. Ooh. And then
Wait a minute. Is the original Fett's Fire Spray being retconned? Is it being changed? Because it says as a unit or leader. It does not say as a upgrade.
Ooh.
So if you play this Boba Fett and you put him as an upgrade on
You
something,
nerf your other fire
and then you
spray.
pay 6, you
can't
get a
even
tapped
tap
Fire
it
Spray, you
for the
son of a
first
bitch.
time in
I'm sure they're going to be like,
forever.
it's as an upgrade as well. Don't worry about
I
it.
wouldn't be surprised if they don't do that. I don't think they will.
That's interesting.
This though, holy moly!
Yeah. It do be what it do
Holy
be.
moly!
This looks amazing. I can't wait for the hyperspace version of it in.
Actually, kind of not gonna lie. The orange around, like, because it's at Cloud City just after he's taken Han. Wow, this is gonna look gorgeous. Genuinely though, this card is absolutely bonkers. Triple dark raid this in, and then the next turn just play it.
Yeah.
But Ham Slowo has his own ship,
Yeah.
and it a piece of junk.
It's a piece of junk, but you know what? The pilots ain't bad.
No, they aren't. And this card loves pilots.
Oh yeah.
3 cost.
3 cost, 3/4. Love to see it.
Love to see it.
As a starter card.
Yeah.
Rebel. Love to see it.
That's actually
Vehicle.
huge.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
Transport. It's alright.
That's actually relevant because commission.
No,
is,
playing that commission spice.
Commission spice, pay 1, go get your hot shots, go get your Falcons.
Well, go get
your Bosk bounty hunter pilots. Because you can.
So, one of the things about it, so none of the pilots are searchable as an upgrade.
No,
That is one of the things. So,
No, they aren't.
So you can't be like commission, go get my Bosk and my.
Well, commission specifies an item. So commission actually specifies item, bounty hunter, or transport.
Right. But any like
But if you have a card that says search for an upgrade or add an upgrade from your discard pile back to your hand, can't.
can't.
Cannot
They're
do
not upgrades until they're upgrading
Piloting
something.
is actually a skill that lets you
Yeah.
play it as an upgrade, but does not
Yes.
make it.
So while it is on a unit, it is an upgrade. Therefore, can be affected by stuff like
Otherwise,
confiscate.
it's not an upgrade.
Otherwise, not an upgrade.
But this card is a 3 cost 3/4. It lets you play or deploy. You may play or deploy 1 additional pilot to this unit.
Yep. So
Holy
you can
crap.
you play this. You can be like, awesome, I'm going to put the Chewbacca on it so you can't defeat it. And then I go, awesome, I'm going to flip my Han Solo onto it because now it's a... Oh, God, what is it?
I'm doing that now. Let me figure it out. You keep going.
And now it's a... with...
Oh my God.
unable to be defeated, and you untapped a bunch of resources, and now you're just going to swing hard at that with this thing.
But that's not all. It also says this unit gets +1/+0 for each pilot
on it.
If you put Chewbacca and if you put Han Solo on it.
Yep.
You get a, I believe it is a, I think it's an 11/11.
An 11/11
in space.
That can't be defeated.
Or bounced.
Or bounced.
And when you deploy...
Well, it can't be bounced anyway because it's a leader at that point.
And when you put Han onto it, you untap your resources. You're untapping 3 if you've done that.
Untapping 3?
If you've done that right, you're untapping 3.
Woo! Or you can do it on the same turn by being like Millennium Falcon and Han, untap 2, Chewbacca.
Yeah. These cards are actually wild.
Yeah, so these two cards show us what piloting does. These, like, the pilots are fine. These two cards show us what piloting is meant to do. And I think we're going to get a lot of these ships.
And,
I can't wait for the Archangel to finally make Afra good. This is what we've been waiting for. It's, man, this is going to be, it's so good. What's up?
This guy thinks he's going to get Afra support. But genuinely, as you said before, this right here, let this not stay in the starter deck. Let this type of power infest the set. Give me 3 cost 3/4s that get buffed and let me play multiple pilots. Give me Fett's fire sprays that are just playing on curve, wildly overstated ships that just start pinging. Yeah.
Yep. I think at the end of the day, we're going to get a lot of ping, and then we're going to get a lot of... We're also going to get cards that are like... this... I don't know. It's tough because there's
so much going on.
So much going on. But these are all the kind of starter deck cards that we've gotten to look at. They're all pretty cool. There's a lot going on, and it's going to be really interesting to see as we move into the actual set how this affects Star Wars Unlimited. We have been confirmed that we are getting TIE and X-Wing
TIE Fighter 1/1s and X-Wing 2/2s, so
tokens,
like
so essentially clone and droids in space.
Awesome.
And to top up this little foray into what we're going to be seeing, we got
showed us a leader from the
our
set.
first in-set leader. And our first in-set leader is a Sarge Ventress.
Hell yeah.
Who says, action, tap, deal 1 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit in the same arena. Pretty good.
Pretty solid.
Very solid. Especially with for no cost. Damage for no cost is always good.
Yep.
If you control 6 or more resources, choose 1, deploy this leader as an upgrade onto a vehicle without a pile on it. Flipping into a 4/6 with grit.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty decent. Or you can attach unit as a leader unit. It gains grit.
That's great.
And on attack, you may deal 1 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit in the same.
Brother text.
Yep. And then you get a Sarge Ventress +3/+4.
That's pretty sweet. And as you mentioned before, this leader notably isn't blank when she flips. Yes, her ability is less than her flip onto a vehicle, but that's kind of the point. You don't really want the leader that's meant to be put onto a vehicle to flip and be like, look how good it is. I think it's solid. I think that as long as each of the leaders, when they flip, they do something, like even if it's like Raid 1 or Shielded or something like that, that's decent because at least your leader is flipping and then it's not just like not doing anything.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I would like to see more than just grit, saboteur. Like, I'd love to see more coming out of the leaders by just flipping them. I want, like, in my head, like, I understand why they can't, in a way, where if they go, okay, these are just as good as set 1, 2, 3 leaders, but they also have more options, it becomes tough, right? Because why wouldn't you just play these new leaders? Because they're just as good. But they have the extra benefits.
That's why I like them not having that. I like the idea of going, awesome. Once again, we're upgrading some power, but we're also not just straight up eliminating things and making them terrible. She is super cool. I really like her, but once again...
Got that knight keyword.
It's difficult to rate these, and that's why I only rated Han and Boba, because I've had a lot of time to stew over them and think about them. But I don't have anything else I can really compare.
I think you've had the same amount of time with Han and Boba as you have with
Yes,
Asajj.
but I think Han and Boba are easier to do because they both started very simple. They literally are blank.
Yeah.
So for me, it's pretty easy to be like, this is cool. From the context of what we've already got, I can rank it here. With Asajj, I'm not going to rank her or the other cards that we've got because I do actually want to see more of the set before I rank them. Absolutely. Speaking of which, we have seen some art.
Yep.
It looks like there's a Lando... a
Starhawk.
Yeah, a Starhawk. There's Gold Leader, which is the Falcon.
Yep.
But when Lando was piloting it, there's another Razor Crest. Major Voring, who is from Resistance. Looks like there's a Poe Dameron artwork there, which I hope is the leader.
It's a Major Voring leader.
Yeah, true. I'm pretty sure that I believe that Lando is also a leader.
Yeah. You can tell by which side the aspect's on.
Yes.
If the aspects are on the right-hand side, it's a leader.
Yes. So the Lando and the Major Voring are both leaders. So that's one of our red aggression and our blue hero leader, which is super duper cool.
Yeah, blue wouldn't have picked blue for Lando.
I would, because this is Lando in the third movie of the trilogy when he is with Nine Nub piloting the Falcon and he blows up the Death Star too. So that's when he's like fully joined the rebellion.
Yeah.
Now that's all super cool. I'm genuinely so excited. We do have one last thing to go through.
Two last things to talk about. We're talking about starter decks.
We are.
And the starter decks have changed. We are no longer getting two-player starter decks.
Oh man.
We are getting individual starter decks.
Oh man.
The individual starter decks will be just the 50 cards, a base. Get ready for that Echo Base reprint. A leader card, 3 double-sided token cards, 1 sheet of punches, and
a booster pack.
And people have been calling for this. This was asked for. So this is just something that they've...
Everyone loves cracking packs.
Yeah. They've given to the... one of the big things is people... One of the things people said when they first announced it, it's like, man, I'd love a booster pack in my starter deck. I'd love a booster pack in my starter deck. And here it is. Like, this is where it started. And so they've split them off. They're 2 separate decks now, but you get a booster in them. And they'll probably be around that, well, for you Australians, probably like $25, $30 mark.
Yeah, which is
hopefully
solid because at the end of the day...
Could go up to 40, 45. I could see it happening.
Look, I doubt it. I think ultimately the way they've done the game so far, I think we're probably going to see that they're going to be about just a little bit over half the price of a regular 2-player starter deck, which means you're effectively just, if you buy both of them, buying a 2-player starter deck, a couple extra bucks. And you get 2 boosters out of it. And still not lose, most importantly as well, I saw, for whatever reason, some people throwing around the unjust rumor that we're no longer getting playsets. That's not true. You are still getting playsets of all of the exclusive starter cards. I've seen like 4 or 5 posts of people just being like, oh, no, now you have to buy multiples. It's like, not at all. You are still, if you purchase a deck for the 4 starter exclusive cards, you will get a playset of those.
Yeah. Also included are full playsets of 4 cards exclusive to the product.
FFG
says it straight on the thing.
It literally wouldn't do us like that.
Last but not least, we've gotten confirmation on the pull rates of the Carbonite booster packs. So they are 16 card packs.
Ooh, that's new.
Including approximately 1 hyperspace or showcase leader.
That's pretty great.
6 premium foil cards.
That's pretty cool.
1 foil rare or legendary.
That's pretty sweet.
1 prestige card.
Whatever that means.
4 hyperspace cards.
Pretty sweet.
1 hyperspace rare or legendary card.
That's pretty sick.
And 2 hyperspace foil cards.
That's also pretty awesome.
No specific rarity is guaranteed within an individual pack box or case.
So, much like Magic the Gathering or other games that had their collector's boosters, this is a premium product. When you open it, you're going to get shiny Gribblies. Nothing you get won't be special. And you have, obviously, by the looks of it, a much higher chance to get multiple legendaries in a pack with the way this is all sorted out. Plus, again, the hyperspace foil could be a legendary. The 2 could be a legendary. You know, you've got your foil.
Can you imagine pulling 2 hyperspace foil legendaries and then a hyperspace legendary and a foil legendary?
Statistically, it's out there. That pack exists.
So they say. And then a prestige legendary. I don't know.
We have no idea what the prestige cards are.
The assumption is that it's going to be similar to the event exclusive cards and the judge promos that have been.
Those new judge promos look so nice.
Yes. The assumption is it's going to be something along those lines, where we'll find out eventually, I guess. But yeah, if you're lucky to make enough money to be able to get yourself some big old chunky packs,
not like us paws,
then get yourself some chunky packs and let us know how that feels, because.
Purple. But that's all the news we have for Jump to Lightspeed right now. They have told us that they will be ramping up. There is a release date. It is the same as this year, March 14th.
Yep.
Well, actually, no, that's a week later. March 12th was the original release date. But it's still
It was like
March.
a year ago.
March. Pretty self-explanatory. March, what is it? It's March, July, November?
November.
Every year. Solid.
Yep.
And
this is the set that we're going to be heading to the Galactic Championships with. This is what's going to be taken. Get ready for that space meta.
Yeah, we're already in a space meta with the Django's, but genuinely, this is super exciting stuff. We're going to hear more news as we go.
Yep.
But it is Christmas, so hopefully we get a couple of presents here and there. But if you haven't already, comment, let us know down below what you want to see. Let us know what pilots, let us know what vehicles, what's something wacky you want to see. Tell us what indirect damage cards you want.
Yep.
What was your favorite card shown off? And most importantly, go check out the gameplay as well. This week, I play Mono Yellow. Django, I don't know what.
I also play a deck. Thank you for watching. Bye.